I'm drawn to big waves. They're just the most beautiful, amazing, scariest things ever.
Seeing that blue crystal wall rising to you and closing and just being a part of it.
It takes me to such a place of being present and feeling so alive.
It forces you to be in the moment. Any deviation is death.
Up next, a visit to a cove in Northern California where on very rare occasions, conditions produce waves that are larger than anywhere else on Earth.
They call it Mavericks.
Certainly is the premier big wave spot in California and arguably the entire world. The rocks, the cold, the reef itself, how steep and hollow the wave is.
Waves that explode with such force that they register on the Richter scale.
It's killed the best in the world.
One of the surf world's biggest events gets underway this morning under a wave of controversy.
In the 17 years since the competition was first held, only men have competed. Jeff Clark was the first to surf the spot back in 1975. He went on to start the now classic competition.
It's not a gender thing, it's a performance thing. Women just aren't there yet.
Bianca Valentini disagrees.
Those arguments saying there aren't enough women, they don't surf well enough, those excuses don't work anymore.
It's just kind of comical. It's like you're telling us that we don't deserve to be out there. Have you seen the waves that we ride?
We call ourselves the badass big wave bitches. Hashtag that.
You got Carola. I think she is the best big wave surfer in the world.
She's ridden some of the craziest waves that anyone has ever ridden.
Andrea Moeller, she's just an all-around water athlete.
She's a paramedic, and she is such a great mom.
Bianca's just such a talented surfer.
She's like a frothing grom when it comes to chasing swells.
And then Paige, she is like an Amazonian. She's very tall and strong.
She really put her entire life to be where she's at right now.
And then Sabrina, she's like a pit bull. She's gonna fight till the end for what's right.
As big wave surfers, these women have to spend an incredible amount of time training, working to realize a dream to have women compete at Mavericks.
Growing up, I had these dreams of being Kelly Slater and getting to surf at all these huge contests and events that you see in the magazines and in the movies. And then you realize at a certain point that you can't because you're not gonna have the opportunity.
They were great athletes and we would watch them and learn, but there was no space for us.
The inequity in surfing has always been there in the media. Never seeing a female unless it's a girl on the beach in a bikini.
It was like, oh, well, you're just not marketable. Oh, that's your nice way of saying I'm over 30 and I'm a lesbian.
A lot of women, they don't have sponsors. They have real jobs, you know. Traveling halfway around the world costs a lot of money.
We need equal access in competitions and equal pay in those events. Without that, you can't really get to be your best performing self.
We're out there surfing the same conditions and the dangers are the same. You can still get caught inside by a 60-foot wave and be dead.
Why should we get paid less to do the same thing?
If we want this, we have to do it on our own.
If you're closing down the coastline for the whole day, you have an all-men's event, then you're effectively excluding women from using public resources.
The California Coastal Commission voted to require Clark and his team to come up with a plan to allow women in the competition by next year.
We took it a step further. We decided to ask for equal pay. WSL said they couldn't afford it. The Committee for Equity in Women's Surfing, we stood strong and said, no, it has to be equal.
What an epic opportunity to be able to be the first event ever to have equal pay and equal opportunity for women. But I just knew that something wasn't right.
They're axing Mavericks from the tour. The male athletes blame her. If it weren't for having to pay the women's prize money, they wouldn't have cut Mavericks.
It's upsetting to have people who you have showed nothing but respect blatantly diss you in the face. Like, I'm not gonna be a dick, but I'm fucking tempted now. To fight for something that I know is right, I'm not gonna give up.
We have a lot to lose from this fight, but we're not gonna give up until we have a spot on the lineup.